Hampton City Schools for their response for when your daughter was severely burned. What would you do if you were in my shoes?
Excuse me, ma'am. Can you put your mask back on?
Are you
Thank you.
serious? Oh my God. What would you do if you were in my shoes? Would you be satisfied with the response that my family has received? Would you be silent? Would you speak out? Ms. Jackson Afanja, as the owner of Family Restoration Services, a business that provides supports for children with emotionally and behavioral challenges, what would you instruct your clinicians to do if Celeste ended up in one of your programs? I have used your business before to assist with summer camp for my oldest child. How in good conscience could you sit on this board and not advocate for Hampton City Schools to do the right thing by my daughter while providing services to children who could have trauma similar to Celeste's? I could walk down this board one by one and call out personal instances where the things that each of you do outside of your board responsibilities makes you hypocritical. But at the end of the day, the expectation that when you serve on the school board or as superintendent of schools, you keep the safety and security in mind for every child, every day, whatever it takes, should be your first priority. If you can't do that, then you should not be on the school board or serve as superintendent of schools, period. So, as stated above, Celeste is no longer enrolled in Hampton City Schools. We were blessed that her grades and accomplishments garnered an acceptance to a private school in the area. Celeste was able to do that despite what traumas Hampton City Schools chose to ignore. My daughter is amazing. She was able to excel despite her circumstances. But what now? Her trauma doesn't stop there. Her therapy doesn't stop there. Her moving to a private school has provided her with safety and security that Hampton City Schools has failed to provide. She no longer has to worry about whether her rapist is lurking in the shadows or will show up one day out of the blue. The joy is back in her face. On the first day of school, at the end of August, I saw a happiness in her that hasn't been there for a long time. But then again, at what cost? We are fortunate that between assistance from the school and my husband and I being able to cover the rest, Celeste does not have to sit in fear any longer. That, however, should not be our responsibility to finance. What we asked for from HCS was simple: placement at the school of our choice, assurance that Celeste and her rapist never be in the same school again, and that Celeste be provided priority, and payment for the cost of therapy for my family. Hampton City Schools has been callous and standoffish, and because of that, the demands have changed. If Hampton City Schools cannot provide an environment for a child to feel safe and secure, it is the responsibility of Hampton City Schools to fund alternative placement where those parameters can be met. How could you in good conscience rationalize that if my child was to ever encounter her rapist in another school, that she would not have additional traumas? Kelly Gorel provided a statement to the news media that 2 female students in the 2nd grade who attended different after-school programs met in a girl's bathroom after school hours. Excuse me, ma'am. My daughter was repeatedly raped when her assailant followed her into a bathroom.
Excuse me, ma'am.
What?
Can you wrap that up? Your time is out.
I find it real ironic, Ms. Stevens-Cherry, that I informed you of what happened to my daughter the day I found out, and you have been avoiding me for 19 months. But yet, you want to sit here, and as you guys were stroking each other's ego, you talked over the time limit that you allowed it yourself, but then you want to enforce a time limit with me when I'm providing criticisms. You stated it yourself. If you cannot help, why are you here? Why are you here? If you can't help a child, I entrusted my daughter to you. Just like Ms. Hurd said, I entrusted my prized possession to Hampton City School.
Your time is up.
And you provided her.
And if you continue to talk, I'm going to ask security to remove you.
How dare you? How dare you?
I'm going to ask security to remove you.
I'm fine, because I promise you, this is not going to go away, and I'm not going to go away either. Fuck me.
And with that, security, thank you. And I just want to, with that kind of comment, I'm going to tell you, this may not be over, but you are not to come to another school board meeting in Hampton.
I'm cool with that. I'll speak to my attorney and I'll speak in the press. And I promise you, this is not over.
And one thing I would like to do now, security, can you get her? She is clearly out of control. So, I want to read a statement regarding the last speaker. The information a parent has now come forth with is not factually correct. The school division did investigate and responded to the parent's complaint. Upon notification of the complaint, immediate action was taken by the school, which included a thorough investigation by the school division and the Hampton City Police Division. As you are aware, often there are specific details surrounding investigations in which we are unable to discuss due to confidentiality laws. However, what we can communicate regarding this matter is the investigation revealed that 2 female students in the 2nd grade who attended different after-school programs met in a girls' restroom after school hours. HCS has no knowledge of these encounters, had no knowledge, until after the fact. And as soon as HCS was made aware, the school division acted as required by law in all manner. HCS made all reports and took all appropriate remedial actions as required by state law and as advised by our attorneys. In addition, HCS took proactive actions, including, at Ms. Miller's request, enrolling the aggrieved student at another school and offering counseling. It must be noted that if someone disagrees with actions of HCS, there are appropriate procedures that can be followed to reconcile grievances, including seeking redress in the courts. Airing disagreements on social media or in open forums is not a practice the school division endorses. If required, HCS welcomes the opportunity for a court to examine this situation, as the division is confident that at all times HCS personnel acted appropriately. Hampton City Schools staff members remain committed to ensuring a safe and nurturing environment for all of our students. We will have no further comment. Providing additional details may potentially breach the students' expectations of privacy with respect to their school records. Ms. Reeves, I would ask you on behalf of the board to draft whatever you need to draft so that we do not have that individual to attend board meetings again. If you can.
Will be done.
Thank you, I appreciate it.